Starstruck.
Yes.
Which you play Rose Matafeo's flatmate.
Yeah.
And are married to a guy.
Yeah.
Who's your husband or partner.
Yes.
And Rose Matafeo was your flatmate.
Yes.
Was it just a documentary, this, or did they write anything?
It's quite embarrassing, really. I mean, it's... Well, when we made the first series and the second series, actually, the three of us were all living together, me, Rose and Al. So it was really easy in terms of transport. You just kind of like walk out your door and but it was amazing as well and really fun to... It's been interesting with the series that they've... I say interesting, that woman wrote it. She knew exactly what she was doing. But... all the series completely reflect where we're at in our lives.
Yeah.
So it's kind of lovely. We've realised we've kind of made this really strange, overly elaborate time capsule. Some people just take iPhone photos.
Yeah.
We made a series. Like series 1, living in a flat together, not really sure what's going on with our lives. And series 3, married, living apart, Oh, I don't have a baby in real life, so at least there's a bit of a difference there. Yeah. But so it is quite close to real life.
Yeah, it's a lovely series. It's about, it's sort of like Notting Hill, but not shit.
Yeah, I like Notting Hill.
I don't like Notting Hill.
I actually really
I tell you what
like
I tell you what I don't like about Notting Hill. I think Julia Roberts all the way through is an absolute fucking bitch to Hugh Grant, and he's absolute fucking cow to him and doesn't do anything nice for him. Yeah. It's all about her. She's absolutely horrible to him and he still ends up with her. It's the reverse of every other film in that usually it's a man doing that to a woman, so maybe that's fair enough. I
totally agree with you.
Yeah.
I think she's a nasty piece of work in that film. What I like about it is that song, and the smile on your face makes me know, and that is enough for me to love the whole movie. And I also love that scene when he's walking through the seasons. Yeah, there's some bits that like make it.
Oh, don't get me wrong, I'll watch it and cry all the way through.
Yeah, exactly.
All of Richard Curtis's films I'll watch and then I'll be furious about.
Totally, I think that's
furious
part
about
of
everything.
It. Yeah.
And while I'm watching Notting Hill, I don't care there are no black people in it. And then afterwards I go, no, that was wrong. It was wrong that you liked that vision of Great Britain.
Then 2 months later, you're watching it again.
And then I'm watching it again.
It's the drug of the country.
It is.
Starstruck is a kind of, it's similar in premise, but not really in any other way.
No.
Premise is quite a big deal, though, isn't it? I think it's,
well, it's different because she doesn't... Am I right? I'm remembering that she doesn't know when she gets off with him, she doesn't know he's famous.
Yeah, she doesn't know he's famous and she doesn't respect him at all.
No.
There's a lot of kind of going, you're an actor, fuck. Get fucked, which is what I really love about the show. I think there's a real realism to Starstruck. It's like quite a heightened premise, but how you would really react, which is, freaking out and taking the piss out of it. There's a kind of naturalism there that I think is really fun to act in, but also means I'm very proud to be a part of it because it feels like a kind of real version of otherwise something that could be seen as quite like silly or frothy. Yeah.
It's sort of interesting to me because I think it's a really great series. And nowadays, it feels like with a TV show, like I think if it was 20 years ago, I think everyone would we said this, everyone would go, oh yeah, would know it. And I feel like this audience don't necessarily know this show.
Oh.
Am I right? No, I'm not. They know it. They just don't like it.
Yeah,
exactly. They just shut. But it is much more difficult for a show to like really break through, right? Because there's loads of shows and less people are watching TV, and shows like there are, like your CV shows like this come along a lot more often as well.
Yeah.
So I think when I'm looking back to last century, something like that would come along once every 5 years, and it feels like this is,
Yeah, but there's such pros to that. I mean, on one side, this sounds crazy me saying this, but it is quite popular in America.
Okay,
so that's quite nice. Me and Rose were in New York, and these girls went, "We love Starstruck," and then you're like, "That's actually really cool. Yeah. That's so nice."
I mean, it's in like about 90 countries or something.
Yeah. A lot of dubbing going on with that. Me in Italian is is so good. I was really like, that's a better version of the character than what I can do. It's just, it's perfect. So there's that, but also there's something quite nice about, I remember Simon Bird talking about how the day after The Inbetweeners came out, sorry, I'm really stealing someone else's anecdote here, but whatever. The day after The Inbetweeners came out, he was in a petrol station and basically everyone was just like, like taking the piss out of him, and it never stopped.
Yeah.
And that's intense, I don't think that's actually, the reality of that is kind of,
It also happened the day before the show went out for him though, so that's where it's...
Exactly.
That's where it falls down. No, absolutely. It is. It's nice to be. Yeah, I'm not trying to demean the thing, because I think it is such a beautiful series.
No, don't
and you
worry.
and Rose. I mean, Rose is incredible, and obviously wrote it as well. So it is. This is also a slightly sexual question. No, it doesn't.
I laugh at the man.
No, because you perform quite a lot with your partner, and you've had to you've had to do love scenes with your actual real life partner in character.
Yes.
I suppose I've done that as well, but it's with him as well, so it's really weird. It's really weird. He said I mustn't say to you.
Now it's coming out.
Is there how did that work out for you? Was it because you sort of feel it's going to be easier?
I think it was easier.
Well,
I'll be honest, because I've kissed him before.
Yeah.
Kissing him again was fun. I tell you what was funny about it to me. So also this was a comedy sex scene, so it's not exactly that. It's fine. It's pretty easy, but now we have intimacy coordinators, and rightly so. Like, they are really useful, amazing members of the crew. I think I don't have a single bad word to say about them. They're like lightly controversial, I think, amongst some weird older actors, and it's like, no, obviously they're great. But to be fair, an intimacy coordinator talking to you and your actual real life partner about how to simulate intimacy is actually awkward and insane.
Yeah.
So there was a moment where he said, he was a man, and he was like, I only say that because they're usually women. And I was like, oh, male intimacy. Okay, cool. So you're the one with they carry a bag of thongs and balls. And the balls are to bounce on to look like you're having sex, and the thongs are in case to try and look naked. But it's quite funny, like a man who's, his main equipment is a bag of thongs. Anyway.
And him daring to tell you what's appropriate.
But yeah, so he was saying, I hear you were partners in real life. And we said, yeah, we've been together a number of years. And he goes, I hate to ask this, but have you had sex before? And it was in COVID, so I remember we had to be like, we were really distant from him as well. And us sort of shouting across this room going, yes, yes, we have to reveal we did once shag in our many years long relationship. So yeah, weird, but great, fine, absolutely fine.
It is strange because I did it's 2007 when I filmed the.
When you had sex with your
when I last
partner.
had sex. Well, I was going out with the person that I was having to kiss on screen. But there was nothing like that. Like, and I was, and like, I was,
get on with it.
And I was, it was more, I wanted to do it so that it was, like you always see naked women in these things. And I want to make sure that wasn't the case, but I got my bum out and stuff. But so I was naked, but like also then like the cameras, there's 3 cameras on you. And the script supervisor said, yeah, there was a point where you were just standing by the bath and the screen that was looking at was just your cock. And I was like, no, that's my boss's cock there. And so there was absolutely no one thought about me standing around with no pants on.
Yeah.
And no, there was just shot where, because I fell out of a bath, so I had to I couldn't fake it. And I said, look, I don't care. If everyone else is fine, I don't care about it.
See,
but
now
it's amazing in that short time that's become like good, but
totally.
amazing.
You would now have an intimacy coordinator with a sock in his bag of thongs to quickly slip it on your cock while it's on screen. that big in front of
Yeah.
everybody,
Well, it
which
would
is
have been better.
nice.
It would have been better for everyone.
Yeah, that's it. It's not about you, it's about us.
It is.
Yeah, no, it has changed so much in a short time, and it does now feel like just such a no-brainer. Because I think it did used to just be like, right, off you go. Maybe the man should wear 3 pairs of pants in case he gets a boner. And so now it's just, it's the stuff with balls, like bouncy balls, like they're like Pilates balls and they come in all different sizes. That stuff is genius. So basically you put them between you and you bounce on them and they just, it looks like sex, but actually it's pure ball play. But it does make, it makes, sorry, I was going to say it makes you feel great. But, it really takes that is obviously really awkward to hump people and pretend it's sex. So if you can put a bouncy ball in there, it just truly, because also these balls are like blue. So you're like, it just takes, like, they're the colour blue. Sorry, not sexual.
Yeah,
like, of course, that's a weird, useless pun. But yeah, brilliant.
Yeah.
Love it.
Well, that's good. Because people say, like, if you've done a NEC where you kiss someone, it must be amazing if you go, no, it's like, even if you like the person, and if you're going out with a person, you're surrounded by 20 other people who aren't even that interested.
It's totally embarrassing.
Yeah, it's awful.
Yeah. And people find out how you kiss. Yes. That's what's awful. They get to see up close what your method is.
Yeah.
And they're like, Christ.
Well, it's a good job you've got a partner. That's all I can say, having watched you.
Thanks, Richard. Appreciate it. Needed that tonight.